we essentially help companies build or rebuild enterprise architecture programs. And some of the drivers for that have been either the CIO or someone in the organization realizes they're not getting the value that they expected out of their enterprise architecture program or investments. There might also be significant change going on, a digital transformation, a business transformation. Those kinds of drivers are really ripe for applying enterprise architecture to make them more cost-effective and really more aligned to what you're trying to achieve. Those are the primary drivers. Some of the other things have been business relationships. Sometimes the IT area has a really poor relationship with the business units that they're trying to support. And EA can really help to improve the conversation with the business and make it much more aligned and, again, a more positive experience for everybody. If you think about most companies today, they weren't designed, right? They really evolved into what they are. I was at a company a couple weeks ago, 100-year-old company. They distribute all across the U.S., very large in the food service space, and no one designed that company, right? 100 years ago it started, and every year since then they've made investments and changed the company in one way or another. And so when you try to make an investment, you can't pull out the schematics for this complex machine that the company represents today. You can't pull out those schematics and say, okay, if we change this, what's going to happen? This is a key part of enterprise architecture, is you're really trying to build those schematics of that complex machine while it's running and while all these investments are being made. Now, there's ways to go about this that are ineffective. A lot of people try to document everything and create schematics for everything. We take a more practical approach and look at what parts of the machine are you trying to change? What do we need to understand in order to effectively change that? And then we focus on those things and helping to document and understand those things so that you can make the change effectively. It gets you the results that you want, and you don't have any nasty surprises that come up through investments or changes or projects that cause a problem. So in the case where we are working with a business on either a cloud transformation, a business transformation, a digital transformation, we'll typically start by helping that program or that implementation really define what it is they need to do, and again, align it to the business goals and objectives for that strategy or whatever it happens to be. We use a business capability-based approach there that really involves the business units in the planning. It does a really exceptional job of defining the benefits that you're going to achieve, and is also a really great way to really identify the scope of the program, right? What is all of the things that we need to do in order to make this successful? And then how do we scope that up into projects on a roadmap? So it ends up being that kind of planning and engagement type of thing that is really effective for these large strategies and programs.